What is going on? Today we have a bit of a controversial one because this game is one I enjoyed it slightly. I'm not going to lie. It's one I played a little bit back when it came out and gave up on it fairly quickly. Mostly probably because I was addicted to Call of Duty at the time. But I recently came back to and finished it, and it ended up being a pretty average game, I won't lie. You know, for its time, it was probably spectacular because this was like the best Bethesda open world we've had to explore in that time. However, I think today it just doesn't hold up. And plus, I don't know, man. These games just aren't as fun as Fallout games to me. And of course, I'm talking about the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. All right, let's just straighten this out right now. I'm not too familiar with the Elder Scrolls series. I played a little bit of Oblivion and a little bit of Skyrim up until I played through it completely recently. I just can't get into the medieval era stuff, especially with like all the magic and stuff. I don't know, man. The Dungeons and Dragons style of game is just, I don't know. I'm just not really into it at all. At least when it comes to like the Bethesda style RPG, I would rather just drop into like the world of Fallout, you know, post-apocalyptic, really interesting, lots of weird creatures and locations to explore. Skyrim is just kind of mountains and caves and castles and rivers and a lot of uninteresting characters. It's not bad by any means. I just prefer the Fallout series. But I digress. I know I'm probably in the minority. I think a lot of people enjoy the Elder Scrolls series more than Fallout. I could be wrong though. I don't know. All my IRL friends love the Elder Scrolls, but I don't know. I was just never really into it all that much. I know Fallout just got a Prime Amazon show, so I know the popularity in that boosted way the fuck up. But whatever. I'm making a mute point here. I can compare and contrast these two all day long. So let's get into the actual subject of Skyrim here. As far as map exploration, I did pretty much walk around everywhere I could. However, I mainly just wanted to stick to getting the quest lines done. I just wanted to play through Skyrim. I didn't really want to explore all that much. I didn't really think exploring was worth it, to be honest, because you really don't get like good exclusive weapons or armor, or maybe you do and I'm just looking in the wrong places. But I really just wanted to follow the quest lines and kind of just get as many quests as I could done. As far as comparing my time played to Fallout, I put 50 hours into Skyrim, whereas I put 95 hours into Fallout 4. There's a lot more to do in Fallout 4 than there is in Skyrim, by far, you know, with the settlement building. But I think there's just a lot more content in Fallout 4 in general, as far as places to explore and quest lines and factions and whatnot. Plus, it's a newer game by like 4 years, so they had a lot more time to work it out, polish it. It's the next entry in the Fallout series, so they wanted to do a good job with it. But Elder Scrolls V, you know, I can't really compare this to Oblivion because I haven't played Oblivion, so I don't have anything to go off of there. But as its own standalone game, like, I had fun with it, guys. It was a good game. It really was. I just think, you know, there was a very severe lack of memorable things to do in it. Basically, the only thing I can remember doing without looking at my notes is killing Alduin and doing like the Dawn Guards DLC with the vampires was pretty cool. I like the companion stuff with the werewolf quest. That was actually pretty cool. So I just want to talk briefly about the combat. If you listen to my Fallout 4 video, I kind of explained how the combat works over there. It's not too different over here in Skyrim. Pretty much the same thing. All of the Bethesda RPGs kind of have the same exact combat, except in Skyrim there's a little more like magic and stuff you can play with, like healing, you know, fire, ice, that kind of thing. I personally didn't really build too much of this. I kind of just wanted to go for a brute force build like I mentioned earlier with the two-handed. Maybe if I ever go back to Skyrim for some reason, I'll play with the magic a little more, but I just don't really care for it, you know? It's just not that interesting to use to me. I'll definitely try one-handed and shields next time if I do play, although by the time I want to play this again, guys, I'm not gonna lie, the new Elder Scrolls might be out, so I might just be playing that. I don't know though. So that thing has been in development for a while, so who knows. So let's talk about the combat portions of the game, more specifically two-handed, because that's pretty much what I primarily used. So basically melee works just like it does in any other Bethesda game. You press left click for a light attack, you hold left click for a heavy attack, and you press right click to block. That is literally the most of the mechanics in the game. And I don't know, man. I just don't know what it is in this game, but I feel like everything just does no damage. I feel like I've gotten every single perk for two-handed all the way up. I've gotten like the best two-handed weapons I could find. I have all the perk slots like fully upgraded, and it's just not it just doesn't do much, you know? I guess you're supposed to combo stuff like shouts and maybe conjuring with it, but it's two-handed, so, you know, you can't have anything in that other hand. And what I found myself doing most is just standing in front of an enemy and just rapidly tapping left click and just having a sword off until one of us dies. And if I'm the one that's about to die, I pull out my healing, run away, heal up, come back and fight them. Like, that's literally, like, to a T what I did throughout the game. I know that's probably not the most ideal way to play it, but I mean, how else are you supposed to play two-handed builds, guys? Let me know in the comments. It's just, so the combat in this game, I don't know, dude. It just felt super boring. Archery was no different. I put a couple points of perks into archery and it just couldn't get it to work for me. I know it has like the same sneak style mechanic from Fallout where if you're sneaking, it does like double damage, right? Which can be useful. It can one-shot some enemies, but then I don't know what it was. There's like a lot of debuffs and stuff in this game, so I honestly couldn't tell you what I was debuffed from or whatever, but I felt like the arrows just did no fucking damage. And by the time you shoot an enemy like 3 times with a bow and arrow, they're already up in your face with a sword hitting you. So it's like, you just got to pull out your fucking sword and hit them back. Granted, this is like my first official playthrough of the game, so I'm not the best at hitting the arrows, but I feel like when I do hit the arrows, it just does a sliver of health anyway. So it's like, okay, this isn't even worth using. Plus, I kind of regret going two-handed builds. I kind of wish I did one-handed builds because there was so many more unique one-handed weapons in the game rather than two-handed weapons. I swear to God, I only came across maybe 2, maybe 3 weapons, like two-handed weapons that are actually like unique and named, kind of like the Fallout ones, you know? And I feel like there's like a severe lack of legendary weapons in this game. I don't know if that was intentional or what, because they were replaced with shouts. I don't know, man. There's like no fucking two-handed weapons, like unique ones in this game. But then again, I'm not too familiar with Skyrim. I don't know if that's intentional or not. Let me know. Can't talk about the offense without mentioning the defense. So I went for heavy armor in this game. I know you can choose between light or heavy armor. I'm assuming light armor lets you move quicker and be more agile, and heavy armor is more slower and weighs more, but blocks more damage. Since it blocked more damage, in my mind anyways, I never looked anything up to confirm it because I didn't really care. But in my mind, the negatives of the heavy armor outweighed the negatives of the light armor. I would personally rather block more damage than move quicker, especially with the two-handed build. I knew I was going to be slow anyway, so I kind of just, you know, hope they would have some synergy together. Maybe I could have like a hard-hitting fucking axe or something with my armor to block all the incoming damage or something. I don't know. I was just hoping there was some synergy there. So heavy armor, you know, it's pretty good actually. It does, as I was putting more perks on it, it was just getting stronger and stronger and stronger, man. I never tried to take my armor off and just see how much it blocked, but I kind of just trusted it, you know? I trusted it to do its job, and I hope it trusted me to do my job. Let's talk about the land that we play in. The world of Skyrim is actually quite beautiful. They really nailed this landscape. Like, it just looks really, really good, man. The water looks good. Like, the rivers look good. The oceans look good. I really like the snow parts of the map. They look really aesthetically pleasing. The mountains off in the distance, they look so good, man. And just for looks, like, it looks amazing, guys, especially for a game that came out like 13 years ago. Like, it still looks pretty good, especially on PC. So that's all I'm going to glaze it for looks. As far as walking and exploring the land of Skyrim, I'm like falling asleep doing it, man. I can't lie. Every cave is literally like the exact same layout. You basically go in, you kill a bunch of the same enemy, and then you loot a chest that has like dog shit in it at the end. And that's pretty much your average cave in Skyrim. Where Skyrim shines location-wise to me is like the high altars with the dragons. Those are very interesting to me. I really like each of the settlements or the towns or whatever you call them, the villages that you explore. You know, Whiterun with Dragon's Keep is really cool. I really like the I like Solitude, how it's like hanging off a cliff. Winterhold with the college is really cool. I don't know. I guess I just go back to looks, but I just exploring the map is just, you know, it's whatever. I don't really know if there's any location that really stood out to me, maybe besides like Sovereign Guard when you go and fight Alduin. I honestly thought like the Dragonborn DLC and the Dawnguard DLC was like way more fun than the base game. And it's funny because that's what I spent the least time playing. It feels like I kind of flew through the DLC, but I really like Castle Valkamar or whatever it's called from the Dawnguard DLC, like the vampire castle you visit. Like that whole like the bridge that goes up to it just reminds me of like Hyrule Castle from Ocarina of Time. If you played that, remember finally getting up to Ganon's castle at the end was like so cool. Really gives that same vibe of that long stretching staircase that goes up to the castle there. So I loved that personally. The Apothecam realm was cool, or what if I don't know what it's called. It's like I'm thinking of like Apothecans from fucking the Black Ops storyline and Zombies. It's like the Apotheca realm is that black and green realm from the DLC that's just very weird and out there. So yeah, location wise, Skyrim, like yeah, it looks good. It looks very medieval. It looks like how you'd expect it to. So no super standout locations that really, you know, make your jaw drop or anything like that. So I'm going to just get into a few of the quests I actually enjoyed here. I tried to talk to everybody in each town to just try to get as much quests as I can, to just do a bunch of stuff, to just do as much as I could in the game. I just wanted to get as much information as I could about the game, and through quests, you can do that, you know? So I kind of that's what I did. I just tried to farm a bunch of quests. So I wrote down in my notes here a couple of quests that actually stood out to me and were pretty cool and fun. So the first one I have on here is the Staff of Magnus, man. It's pretty fun. You go down in this labyrinth and there's a dragon made completely of bone that you fight. Super cool, like vibe in there. I really like that. Frost spirits are pretty cool. I really like them as enemies as well. The only thing that was a little underwhelming was the boss. The boss that like has the staff was so weak, man. I killed his ass so fast. Another quest of interest was the House of Horrors in Markarth, I believe it's called. You basically search this abandoned house, and then this Daedric Lord kind of like summons you to bring back this guy to sacrifice to him, and then he ends up giving you a mace, which was pretty cool. The only thing that sucked is it's a one-handed weapon, of course, so I didn't really get to use it that much. I thought Alduin's Bane was a pretty cool quest. I really liked learning, Dragon Run to kind of force dragons to land and force Alduin to land. It makes the dragon fights a lot better and more, like, faster paced, I guess. But guys, I'm going to just be real right now. This is going to be the most real thing I've ever said on this channel so far, but dragon fights in Skyrim are just not it, man. This is arguably like the worst part of the game to me. I think there's nothing more boring than fighting a dragon in Skyrim, dude. It really is all it is just waiting around until it lands, walking it up and smacking it in its fucking face until it flies away again, and then just doing the same thing over and over. Granted, yes, I know you could shoot it with arrows, but they do like no damage, so I'm not even gonna get into that conversation. That's basically all it is, man. You fucking see the dragon fly around, you avoid its attacks, you wait for it to land, and then you smack it in the face a fuck ton of times. And that is like all of the gameplay there is to fighting a dragon. I mean, I know there's probably a lot of technical limitations and stuff. I'm sure, they probably want to do more with that. I don't know. Coming back to it, or not coming back to it, but just experiencing it for the first time kind of is just like very underwhelming to me. I don't know. I thought the Fallen quest was really awesome. The quest where you trap the red dragon in Dragon's Reach and Whiterun. The ones that follow it, Sovngarde and Dragon Slayer, like entering the portal was really cool, but I won't lie, killing Alduin was kind of, underwhelming because dragon fights are just boring. I thought the whole Dark Brotherhood storyline was really, really cool. It starts out really interesting, actually, but then you kind of just realize it's just kill quests over and over again. But I actually kind of like that because it was a nice change of pace from what you're normally doing. Normally it's like a fetch quest or you go clear a dungeon and grab a piece and bring it back to somebody, but this one was just like assassination targets where you just go, you kill somebody, you can try to sneak in, or you can try to sneak around and do it, you can just guns blazing and have to pay the fines later. That's kind of what I ended up doing because I was super rich by the time I played the Brotherhood storyline. Also, you get the Shadowmere horse at the end of it, which is sick. It's like a Dark Brotherhood horse. It's got like red eyes. It's probably undead or something. Very, very cool. I gotta make a quick side note here. I'm actually going back to edit this. I need to just talk about horse riding in this game really quick, man. It's not fun at all. It might be tied for fighting a dragon with the most boring thing to do in Skyrim. You move slightly faster on your horse, I think, than running, and just I don't know. It's just there's nothing to do on it. The combat sucks on the back of the horse. Like shooting arrows is so annoying on the back of the horse. I think, trying to hit somebody with a sword while you're on the horse is just awful. I just think the horse in this game is just terrible, man. I can't lie. It's so like uninspiring and boring to ride. I can't explain it. Maybe somebody knows what I'm talking about. We got to talk about the fucking Imperial versus Stormcloaks quest, guys. This whole storyline, I don't really know what it is. Some guy, I think the Stormcloaks are the rebels. Like one of the Jarls is like, he's going rogue or something. He's trying to start a rebellion to like overthrow the Imperials. No matter who you choose, I guess it's the same side either way. Basically, all you do is just continue to siege castles. You just keep taking over the territories with the same fight over and over again. You fast travel to the place they're going to fight. You walk with them into the fight. You fight all of the ops, right? You go into the ops hood and you fight all of the ops, kill them all, reconvene at a camp, and then just do it all over again. So it's like, okay, I thought there would be more of a, I don't know. I just thought there would be more to do within like a storyline that had to do with, overthrowing a whole Imperial Empire. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, dude. I actually didn't mind the companion quest too much. Getting the werewolf power at the end was pretty cool as well. And I like how the werewolf has a perk tree as well. Dawnguard DLC is amazing. Talked a little bit about that castle. The Dawnguard DLC kind of threw me off a little bit because you go into it kind of thinking you're going to be the vampire killers, and then you actually end up being the vampire like helper. You turn into a vampire, and the powers are pretty cool as well, but they're just not strong, man. Or I couldn't get it to be strong. I just felt like it wasn't that strong, or as strong as my normal form with my two-handed weapons anyway. But the vampire has a whole skill tree as well, which is pretty cool. That Dragonborn DLC with the whole the Apotheca realm or whatever it is pretty cool. Hermaeus guy or whatever his name is, the whole being that talks to you. His whole vibe and aesthetic is very cool. Like he's so like interesting. He's a very interesting character. However, he just has like such a stupid voice, man. He talks kind of like this, and I don't know why. Like it's just, I don't know, man. It's just an interesting fucking decision they made for that. I really don't know what they were going for. I'm going to take a little bit of time right now to just talk about some of the characters that I can remember and a lot of the ones that I loved. So here it goes. It's going to be a really long list. We got the Greybeards, I guess. I kind of remember them. I think Jarl Balgruuf was a guy. The Pythorax dragon is kind of okay. There's some like Daedric overlords that talk to you. So thanks for listening to me talk about all the characters I find memorable, I mean, guys, can we be honest here for a second? Skyrim has like 0 memorable characters, dude. I cannot I'm doing my best so hard. Granted, I haven't played this game in a couple weeks. I did finish it a couple weeks ago. However, like I could name like 20 Fallout characters off the top of my head right now that are just memorable. You know what I mean? Skyrim just has no characters with like personality, dude. I don't know what it is, but these characters are just so bland. Like the only ones that stick out are like the dragons that talk to you. Like, I don't know, man. So we went over combat, locations, quests, and characters. I mean, what else is there really to cover, man? It's just your standard Bethesda game, you know what I mean? Recording this one right after Fallout 4 or playing it right after Fallout 4 probably wasn't the greatest choice because I feel like I can't just elaborate too much on how different it is, I guess, because it really kind of is just the same kind of game reskinned. So in my notes here, I have a couple bullets about stuff I liked and stuff I found bad. So I guess we'll just get into that really quick, then do Retard of the Week segment, and then we'll get out of here, I guess. Because, I mean, this video is not going to be so long. It's probably going to be the shortest mainline episode yet, but I can't lie to you guys. It's actually kind of hard to talk about a game like this that I just don't really care for. I feel like if I like the game a lot more, it's easier for me to kind of get into stuff and talk about it, and a lot of this podcast has been nostalgia driven as well, which I just don't really have with Skyrim, so it's just a little more weird. This is kind of like the first official quote unquote new quote unquote game I've played for the podcast, or new to me at least. So new games are kind of just harder to talk about, or it seems that way. I'm still learning. But I don't know. I just have an easier time talking about games I already know about. I mean, I guess that makes a lot of sense now that I think about it and say it out loud. But yeah, fuck it. Let's just get into it, man. Let's talk about the bad stuff first and maybe end on a good note here. I think smithing in this game is horrible. It takes so long and so many supplies to level up your smithing. So I feel like it's just not even worth it to level up your smithing. I'd rather just level up my heavy armor and my two-handed to try to make it do as much damage as it can and try to just make myself have as much damage resistance as possible. So by the time I spent all of my perks leveling heavy armor and two-handed and archery, I didn't have enough to put into smithing. Plus you have to put so much into smithing to actually get cool stuff, which is just really unfortunate, man. It just takes a long time to grind up, so I didn't like that. It kind of just felt like I was missing out on potential damage, which kind of sucked. But I mean, whatever. That's just one thing. I kind of missed the XP bar in Fallout. Every time you kill something, discover something, complete a quest in Fallout, you get that tiny XP bar and the cha-ching that pops up. That's just lets you know you're doing something, right? But in Skyrim, you kind of just randomly get a little progress bar that goes up. And it's there's no really way to tell when it's going to go up soon. You kind of just got to keep doing the thing. I don't know. I just like the Fallout system. I think Fallout does it way better. I really hate the way they do books in this game. So some books, if you just open it, if you just open the book up, it'll raise the level of something. So, and that's the problem, right? Not every book does that. So what ended up happening is every book I would come across, every single book in the world of Skyrim, I would click on no matter what, just to try to, level something up to get my level up. Because that's the thing about this game. So every time you level up a skill in this game, it contributes towards your total rank. So I felt like it was just worth it to kind of just, open each book and try to get the skill up just to level up as an XP thing. But it just I stopped doing it after a while because I just didn't care enough to open every single book to possibly get some sort of level for conjuring or something I wasn't using anyway, you know what I mean? So the way books are in this game, I hate it. I like the way books in Fallout are. Just do it in Fallout so much better, because every book you read in Fallout gives you a permanent stat or something, and it's really, really good. It was just, I just hated it in Skyrim. I already talked about it, but I'll just reiterate again. Exploring caves beyond boring. So that was just another bulletin I had. The way Pythorax talks, the good dragon, is kind of cringe. He weaves his own words into the English sentence. So he'll be like, "Oh, you have to go find this, bo fucky thoom," or something like that. And it's okay, dude, chill. I actually don't know why I gave him an Asian accent there. He does not talk like this. Plus, I don't know, dude. The voice acting for the dragons in general just didn't hit, dude. I don't know what it is. They just sound way too human, if that makes sense. I don't know. And then the last thing I have on here is that the heavy armor perks suck, The 5 damage resistance ones you can level up are pretty good, but then besides that, I mean, there was just none really worth grabbing. It was more worth it to me to put more perks into healing or two-handed or something like that. So let's get into the good. And I only have a few bullets for good, man, because I don't know. This game was just, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. You know what I mean? It was fun. It was just I don't know, average. So for the good, I like the special kills and the executions that you get. Every once in a while, your character would kind of do the VATS thing from Fallout, where it goes into a third-person cam or a cinematic camera, and you strike them down or you chop their head off or something cool like that. There's no VATS in this game, so that's kind of where they went with that. I like it though. I really, gives you a cinematic experience when you're killing stuff. I really like the way they do lockpicking in this game. You don't have to level up your lockpicks to novice, to apprentice, to, master or expert or whatever, in Fallout that you have to do. In this, if you want to go pick a master lock at level 1, you are more than welcome to. You just better have enough lockpicks to get through it, you know what I mean? So what I would do is I would quick save in front of a master chest and break 20 lockpicks if it was a hard one, and then just reload the saves. So I just had them all, It's kind of what I did. But yeah, I like lockpicking. I like the fact that it lets you try to do it for level 1 if you want to. And then they also have perks to make it easier if you want to go that route. But it kind of feels like the fact that you can pick it at level 1, it feels like it's not worth it to put perks into making them easier. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I guess it's all playstyle based at the end of the day. I can't remember where I got this thing, but I got a skeleton key from some quest, and it was an infinite lockpick, man. I eventually gave it up at the end of and I didn't realize that's what the quest was. I was giving it back. I thought it was just like a permanent upgrade I got, so I was really hyped about that. And then when I gave it back, I was like super disappointed because I'm like, oh man, I'm actually gonna have to, try with lockpicking again, because this thing made it so you couldn't like break the lockpick. So you literally could just keep lockpicking until you were just done with the chest or door or whatever it was. And it was really good, man. I really enjoyed that until they took it away from me, you fucking bastards. And then the last thing I have on here is that I like that you're able to buy some levels for some perks. Like there was a companions guy in like their house in Whiterun where I was able to buy levels for my heavy armor. There was various guys I could upgrade archery through and two-handed through. So I just think that as a whole, like it's really cool. Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate early game when you can't afford it, but I became so rich by the end that I was just able to like buy everything I ever wanted. So yeah, being able to buy levels to level up is actually kind of cool. That was a feature that I kind of wish they threw into Fallout. I think that's very genius. And now it's time for everybody's favorite segment. Well, I don't know about everybody's, but at least mine. It is Retard of the Week. Retard of the Week. Retard of the Week. Retard of the Week. Sorry, I tried to do like an old classic talk show, like radio bit there. I don't know if it's gonna bite, but yes, it is returning. This is something I started on the Fallout 4 video. Retard of the Week is simply just a segment where I go in and read reviews about the game, try to pick out the stupidest one I can, and then counterpoint it, contradict it, or, just try to give my thoughts on it. So I'm kind of in this weird limbo state with Skyrim where I don't really hate the game, but I don't really think it's that great. So I don't really know whether to look at good reviews or negative reviews to give, I don't know whether to look at good reviews or negative reviews. So this Retard of the Week is probably going to be pretty dull compared to other ones where I'm like more expressive about the game that I like or dislike. And honestly, most of the Skyrim reviews are pretty wholesome. Like, there's a lot of 70 and 80-year-olds that play this game, dude. Like, unless these people are lying on Steam reviews, like, there is a lot of, like, older folk that play this game, which honestly is pretty cool and wholesome to me, man. I think that's pretty awesome. I just know that's going to be my old delusional ass reviewing, like, Fallout fucking 13 way in the future. But anyways, I can't really go with a negative review on this because literally all of the negative reviews are people just like complaining about how they're trying to get you to pay for mods or something. Apparently this version of Skyrim that I played is like the anniversary one or something, and the mods aren't as good as like the original version of Skyrim, which has a lot of mod support according to this community here. So we're going to have to go with a positive review. And here it is. We have username Nikki who says, I have now purchased Skyrim 5 separate times. I mean, I just put my head into my hands and sighed. Like, okay, dude. I can get behind buying a game multiple times, right? I think of like something like Zelda, right? Twilight Princess originally released on like GameCube and the Wii. However, they did an HD like remaster of it for the Wii U, which I also bought. So yes, I technically did buy Twilight Princess twice. But even I still think that's actually kind of insane. There is no reason you need to buy this game 5 times and play it 5 separate times. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm in my own lane here, but like 5 separate times is kind of insane, is it not? Not everybody has a PC, so like if you're upgrading Xboxes and you buy it again, or upgrading PlayStations, and I get it, but like 5 times, man? Where are you buying it 5 times? What, like Xbox, Switch, PC, PlayStation, Steam Deck? Like, dude, I don't even know. So yeah, I just had to give it to Nikki. I'm sorry, Nikki, if for some reason you're listening to this, but like 5 separate times you bought Skyrim, I am so sorry for your loss. I'm sorry for your wallet. This game is not worth full price, let alone 5 separate purchases of Skyrim in general. Like, that's just insane, bro. So there you have it. That's all I'm really going to get into for Skyrim. I know there's going to be a lot of stuff I missed, a lot of stuff I didn't cover, but I'm not too familiar with the Elder Scrolls or this game in general. I just did one solid playthrough of it. No mods. I wanted to just play it vanilla to get that authentic experience that they delivered. I could play it with mods. Every Bethesda game gets better with mods, right? We all know they have a quality of life mods to improve, just like load or different things about the game, and different mods to just improve frustrating aspects of the game and just to have fun with. But as an honest review, I just wanted to play the game vanilla and play the game that Bethesda gave us, not the game that the community helped perfect. So that's it, man. We're going to close the podcast out here now. If you've listen to this, thank you for listening. I really appreciate it. Maybe leave a like if you want to. Maybe subscribe if you want to. No pressure. But yeah, I just appreciate you guys giving this a listen. So again, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Look out for an episode next week. We're going to drop one probably for the 3DS. If not, maybe an off angle if I don't have anything prepped. Let me tell you a little bit about what I'm playing now. So I'm playing a little bit of Overwatch. Not a little bit, playing a lot of Overwatch. I was actually just 5-stacking with some friends last night, which I haven't done in forever. Super, super fun. So yeah, playing Overwatch. Season 12 is coming soon with the release of Juno, the new support hero, which I will be grinding out. She is super, super fun. I've been playing a little bit of Rainbow Six Siege here and there, not too much. And then I've been playing this 3DS game for the podcast daily that I'm very excited to talk about. I'll give you a hint. There's a couple of entries in this series. It's only a Nintendo series, and that's all I'm going to give you. So look out for that next week. If not, we'll have an off angle talking about some random bullshit that we're talking about. All right. So with all that said, thanks again, guys. If you enjoyed Skyrim, I'm sorry that you probably won't agree with a lot of my opinions. If you didn't enjoy Skyrim, maybe you agree with something I had to say here. So yeah, let me know what you think of Skyrim in the comments, guys. Let me know if I missed something crucial in the gameplay, or let me know if I missed like a huge point in the game. But yeah, Jerry Yap signing out. Take care, guys. Have a fantastic weekend or week whenever you're listening to this.